I think Burger King is delicious but underrated.
It's good food. I always get my belly full in there.
I think the Whopper is such a golden asset for Burger King. As a product, it's probably one of the best known across all of the quick service outlets.
One of the ways that the Whopper stands out against its main rival, the Big Mac, is it is, to give it credit, a whopping great big bit of beef.
You thought the Whopper was big. A court thought it might be smaller than the menu photo promised. Today, we're testing the Whopper promise. What you think you're buying versus what you actually unwrap. We'll follow the legal claim, then walk through the clues, portion shots, store conditions, and the stalled recipe to show why this lawsuit isn't a one-off. It's a symptom. Stay to see how rivals turned BK's old playbook against it and how to spot the tells of low value before your money hits the counter. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. Costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. You order the Whopper on the promise you saw on the board. Wide bun, tall stack, toppings that don't hide. Then the wrapper lands in your hand and it is smaller, flatter, looser. A judge let that question move forward because the gap between promise and product is the whole point. If the menu shows one thing and your tray delivers another, the law asks a simple test. Would a reasonable customer feel misled? Let's start with the claim in plain words. Ads and menu screens didn't just show a tasty burger. They implied scale and heft. The suit says the in-hand size often failed to match that impression. Truth in advertising rules care about that because your expectations drive your choice, your spend, and your repeat visit. If a brand wins your order with a staged image that reads as real size, the law treats that as more than flair. It is a promise you paid for. Now the clash.
It's a Pepsi to McDonald's Coke. It's an Avis. We try harder.
They always show a Burger King being eaten with two hands because they want it to look bigger than its competitors. The Whopper is literally in your face at every single touch point. Whenever you visit a Burger King store, whenever you see anything in their ads, everything shouts and screams Whopper at you.
Burger King says the photos are stylized, shot to look their best, and real burgers vary by store, crew, and day. Customers say this is not a lighting trick or a tidy angle. The gap is shrinkage that changes value. Less patty, less bite, less fullness. When you're buying a meal, size isn't vanity. It is part of what you paid to get. Bring in receipts. Court filings point to side-by-side comparisons of menu photos next to unwrapped sandwiches. They include customer-submitted measurements and a spread of visits across different locations. That matters.
So every other fast food joint, they fried a burger on a big hot plate, and you go into McDonald's, you will still see the burgers being flipped on a big hot plate.
The Whopper is cooked in what I can only liken to one of those hotel toaster machines, except that it has flames in it. So it's a giant broiler, and the burgers sit on this tray.
Burger King, it's a grill or a broiler, as they say over in America, and the very first successful franchisee in the US invented a machine that could grill the burgers, both sides at the same time, really quickly.
And then it's soaked and juicy because it's in the juice from the grilling process.
One bad shift is noise. A pattern across stores looks like a system. The evidence aims to show a consistent shortfall, not a one-off flub by a rushed line cook. Slide behind the counter for a moment. Former workers describe build guides that stack parts in a set order, but the real world adds heat lamps, hold times, and the drumbeat of speed. Patties lose juice and look thinner. Buns compress under the wrap. Toppings slide when the sandwich sits. None of those choices scream fraud by themselves, but together they shave the bite. Thinner patty, sloppier stack, compressed bread. Your teeth meet more air than meat. Here is the analogy that lands. It is like buying a gallon of gas and the pump is a few ounces short every time. One stop feels fine. Over months, your wallet knows. Same with a burger that misses its mark by a little, again and again. The promise adds up. So does the loss.
Once we get an order through for a Whopper, it will come up on this screen here.
And we have our buns just here. So what we do when it comes up is just take one and put it in the toaster.
You can tailor it. And that means that we're able to take this out, take that out, add that in. And that slows things down. So their system is built to try to make that as quick as possible.
So in contrast to all the other fast food chains that already had a footfall in the UK, be it Wimpy's, McDonald's, KFC, the idea was that you could customize your burger. And
Research backs this up. When the eye says one thing and your hands say another, trust drops fast. Loyalty data in recent years points to a simple driver of value: consistent size and taste. Not the lowest price, not the flashiest photo. Consistency. When that slips, repeat visits slide with it. And look around the store. Faded booths, flicker lights, dated drive-thrus signal corners cut. That environment primes you for a weaker meal before the bag opens. Here is the tell. When locations get real renovations, sales tend to jump. That lift hints at how low the baseline sat. It wasn't just paint. New gear, better lighting, tighter workflow, those changes often tighten the build and the bite. So why did a judge let the case proceed? Because the law doesn't award a free pass for stylized if the style creates a false sense of size.
It does get quite tedious for the kitchen staff because they're always like in a constant flow, and a customized burger, they have to concentrate more and make sure they do it correctly.
It's a flavouring, not a...
Yeah, they just make it taste like it's flame grilled.
Yeah.
It's a difficult, complicated system, but they have had a lot of experience in getting it right.
If you think about Burger King as a brand, I bet you the first thing that comes into your head is flames everywhere, because that is what they major on. So visually they major on it, taste in their restaurants they major on it, everything that they talk about themselves as a brand is all about being flame grilled.
The question is whether a normal guest would read those images as close to what shows up. The filings say yes, and they brought photos, measures, and patterns to make that point testable. The mini payoff is this: the suit is not a fluke. It is the visible tip of a mismatch: stalled recipe tweaks, uneven prep, tired stores. That turns an icon into a coin toss. Some days you get a decent stack. Other days you pay for the brand and leave hungry. Now let's follow the fallout at the counter. We'll look at why customers started measuring, how rivals ate BK's lunch while pushing steadier portions, and how you can spot low value before you order. Watch the size to price in the app, scan the store for those tells, and you'll know when the promise is real and when you're covering the branding tax. Here's the real kicker. When the photo keeps growing and your sandwich keeps shrinking, you are paying a branding tax, not buying a meal. It's like ordering a full tank and getting air in the hose. Looks busy, delivers less. You deserve better than staged scale and thin stacks. Your move.